Hi, my name's Chuck Becker, and I'm a librarian here at East Campus, and I'm going to walk you through Worksheet 3. So if you follow these directions, you should be able to fill out Worksheet 3. If you have any questions, you can always give me an email, and that will be at the end of my presentation. Thanks. We are going to start at Anne Reynolds, Anth 112, East Reynolds, Non-Western Cultures Library Guide. And then we're going to click on Worksheet 3 Templates. And under Worksheet 3 Templates, there's a template for a Google document if you use Google Docs, or a Word template if you use Word. I'm going to use the Google Doc, so I'm going to click on Google Doc. And it's going to tell me to make a copy, and I'm going to click on Make a Copy. Whether you download the Word document or the Google document, the worksheets are the same. So for your paper, you will need sources from REFWORLD, Refugees International, and Pima College Library, or the Pima College Library databases. So the sources are important. You have to have a minimum of 5 sources. Most students will have around 7. However, you have to have a source, a report from Refugees International. You have to have a substantive source, which means more than a small letter, from REFWORLD. And you have to have a scholarly article from the library databases. So remember, in your 5 minimum sources, you have to have those 3. One from Refugees International, and it has to be a report, a scholarly article from the databases, and the third one has to be a robust information source from REFWORLD. For my exercise, I'm using the Rohingya as my group of displaced people. The homeland they live in is Myanmar. And the host countries we're looking at are Bangladesh and Thailand. The first section of the worksheet has us going to REFWORLD. Click on REFWORLD, or you can look it up in Google. It'll take you right there. And REFWORLD is actually the public library, or the public document library for the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. And the way you would search it is over on the right under Search REFWORLD. For your keyword, you'll use the displaced culture or people that you're studying. And then you're going to put the country that they come from. In this case, Myanmar. And if you're like me, you'll forget that it's spelled with a Y, M-Y. You do that, you click Search. Now, the documents that you come up with can be all sorts of documents. There's government documents, there's news reports, there's presidential letters. So you do have to look through the documents. The documents will first sort by relevance. So notice that you can change it to date or relevance, because you should be finding documents within the last 3 or 4 years. You shouldn't be taking documents past 5 years unless you're doing a refugee group that you have to go back that far to account for. So you can click on Sort by Date and click Go, and then you'll get the most current. Now when you sort by date, you get a lot of newspaper articles or radio articles. So you have to watch out for that. You can go through and go by title to see what they're talking about. And I'm going to use this one on the bottom because it looks like a full report. This is a report that was created by the International Crisis Group. At the top of the page will give you the title, publisher, publication date, country, topic. It will give you the citation information. This citation information is not in APA format, but for the time being, at this point in time, you can copy out that citation information and you can paste it into your worksheet. So I'm going to copy the title, copy. I'm going to go to my worksheet and I'm going to paste in the title name. It's best when you're pasting it in to paste it in without formatting. And there's the title. Back at the worksheet, I'm going to notice there's a cite as. So I'm going to take the cite as and I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go back to my worksheet and under the APA citation, I'm going to paste that in. Now, this is not the correct APA citation. However, if I scroll up a little bit in the worksheet, there's a sample of how I'm supposed to cite this report. So you can use that sample to correctly cite this report in APA. Then I need to do a brief description of the article. So I need to go back to REFWORLD. I need to make sure that I download this article or get the link, the permanent link to the article, and then I need to read the article and give a brief overview. If you notice, this article, like many reports, has an overview. So I can paraphrase the overview of this report and put it in my brief description or summary of the report. For section 2 of the worksheet, you will be getting a report from Refugees International. You can click on Refugees International or you can Google it and it will take you to Refugees International. Refugees International is like many organizations' websites. It's difficult to search. It was not meant to be a reference website. It was meant to be an organization's website. So there's a number of ways to skin this cat, but you're probably going to start by going to Our Work, and then under Our Work, you can check Reports and Briefs, or it's normally easier to click on Regions. And when the regions come up, to look at your culture or group underneath the region. So what you're doing is you're browsing the site by regions. Since I'm looking for the Rohingya, under regions, I'm going to go to Asia and Rohingya. When I get to the page on the Rohingya, what you'll notice is some of these are not reports. Actually, most of these are not reports. And so you want to skip the statements, the blog posts, the advocacy letters. And it's not till I get towards the bottom that I get a report. But even then, when you click on the report and it says report, it's best to pick a report that has a PDF file of the report attached. So you'll notice this says report, but it's basically a call to action. It's not a true report about a situation that the Rohingya are in, or characterizing the Rohingya in general in Myanmar. So I'm going to skip over this one and go back to the regions page. And I'm going to scroll down some more. And I'm going to notice a second report and click on that second report. Now, it's hard to tell the difference, but this report is much more in depth. And if you notice, it has a download PDF. So I'm going to click on that download PDF. And what I'm going to get is the actual full report. All 24 pages of it. You'll also notice that this report is easier to cite because it has an author, it has a date, and it has a title. So it has all the citation requirements. So you want to look for that PDF. When you're back at the worksheet, this is another time when you're going to have to make your own APA citation. So remember, in the worksheet, there is a sample APA citation for you to work from. So you're going to paste in the title. Then under the APA citation, you're going to use that information to make a correct APA citation. Then you're going to write a brief description or summary of the report. So these reports normally will start off with an introduction. Here's a summary and recommendations. So again, you can use this summary and paraphrase that summary as your summary for the report. So this is the point where some of us are wigging out because we can't find a report. So I'm going to give you 2 tips that may help you find that report. So one place you can go to get to the report archive for Refugees International is Anne Reynolds' library guide. So when you're at the library guide, if you click on good, wow, that's terrible English, refugees, good websites. If you click on that tab, you will get to, and there's 2 places, you'll get to the report archives for Refugees International. And the report archive for Refugees International has reports from 2014, 2013, 2012, and 2011. These are not free, you can't freely see these on the website, and they don't really put their archive in a good spot. So you can always do Control F, and you can search through these guides for previous reports, like this one right here. This Myanmar, a tipping point for the Rohingya's rights. So that's one method. A second method is you can find the reports archive by searching the search menu at Refugees International. So if you scroll over to the right and you click on the little magnifying glass, it'll bring up the search, and then in the search you'll type in reports archive. Don't type in your people, because that will get you results, but it will get you results from around the web and not just Refugees International. But if you type in reports archive, your very first hit is the reports archive. And so you can click on that and it takes you to the reports archive. You can also go to Google, and if you type in your group, Somalis, and report and Refugees International, it will search Refugees International, and that will actually pull up older reports or reports that you may not see when you're browsing. So you'll notice that these 2 right here, this is actually a report from Refugees International, and you can download the PDF and work with the PDF. So that's a third method. See, you got an extra method. Now we're on section 3, where you're searching the PCC library databases for a scholarly article. And you may have done this before. So if you're familiar with MegaSearch, we're going to go to MegaSearch and we're going to look up a scholarly article in MegaSearch. So you're going to go to the library tab in MyPima, and then you're going to use MegaSearch, which is our discovery tool. And then you're going to put your culture in there, your people, and this is a good time to use the country that they're fleeing to, so the people and the country that they're fleeing to, and you're going to click search. So your search is going to get thousands of results. First thing is you want to make sure you're looking just at scholarly journals. There's 2 ways to do this. You can limit to, under here, limit to, you're going to click scholarly journals. And you're going to get scholarly journals. Notice this first result, special issue on the Rohingya crisis. So I'm going to click on that blue link. It's going to take me to the article record. Now I'm at the article record. I do want you to notice that there's subject terms here. And we're going to come back and use a subject term in a second. You also want to notice that there's an abstract that tells you what the article is about. So this one would probably do me well because it talks about negotiations between Bangladesh and Myanmar over the Rohingya people. Now I'm going to send this article to myself. So I'm going to click on email and I'm going to email the article to myself. I'm going to type my email in. I'm going to make sure that I choose APA format and I'm going to click send. And it's going to send me the article in full text. Then I'm going to go to the right side again and I'm going to click Cite. And under Cite, I'm going to copy out the APA citation. And then when I'm back at my sheet, I'm going to paste the APA citation in that sheet. I'm going to paste it without formatting. So there's the APA citation. And I can actually take the title from this citation. Then you can copy the title out here. And then you can just paste it in. For the article summary, you can go back and paraphrase the abstract, or up in the left-hand corner is the PDF of the full text of the article. This is what you'd be receiving in the email, and normally the first part of the article is an introduction, so you can read this first part and summarize it. So remember, when you're searching the database, that you're limiting to scholarly journals, and then you're looking over these results. So here's a second result, systematic human rights violations. Notice this has a full text finder. If you click on full text finder, it's going to send you to a different collection, one that's not owned by EBSCO. And about 80% of the time, it will take you to the database that the article is in. So this is in a ProQuest database, and here's the article. So you're probably asking yourself, well, wait a second, wasn't he going to come back and tell me something about subject headings? And then you probably also were wondering why. Why was the link to the article in the previous section to a different article? Well, I decided to ride with that. So that normally doesn't happen. But back to subject headings. So when you find an article in the databases and you click on the blue link and you go to the article record, many times there's subject terms. And subjects are important because if I click on this link, Rohingya Burmese people, it's basically going to only give me articles on the Rohingya. So you'll notice this starter shows up. This is not a scholarly article, so you'd have to go over and limit to scholarly articles. And you'll notice that since we're using this subject heading, we're getting only articles about them. And it pulls up very relevant articles normally. So here's a really interesting article on Myanmar's perspective on the Rohingya crisis. So by using that subject term, I got relevant results. You can also click on advanced search, and you can do a subject or a keyword within subject search. So here I use the subject term Rohingya and Thailand. Again, since I did a new search, I need to limit to academic journals or scholarly journals. And when I do that, I get very relevant articles, like this one on the forced migration and expatriation of the Rohingya. So I can click on that blue link. I can go to the article record. And I can email this article to myself. So I just wanted to show you that. The use of a subject heading within the databases. Wow, that was 20 minutes of your time. I apologize for that, but thank you for bearing with me through this, if you did. And you can always give me an email if you do have problems. I'm cbecker@pima.edu, and you will see that in a little bit on a black screen. So I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.